This video will show you how to make Agonyi sauce. Come on in and welcome to my kitchen. If you missed our last recipe video, I'll be leaving a link for you in the description section. This is what you missed. We learned how to make oven grilled tilapia fish, and then we also added fries. To today's video, we're going to be learning how to make Ewa Agonyi sauce. This sauce has so many ways that you can go off the map with it, because it needs a balance between greedy, it needs a balance between that and you having to make sure that it caramelizes very well, and then the chili sauce, the chili pepper doesn't get burnt. And because if any of this gets burnt, you're going to have a very bitter tasting sauce, and that's not what we want. What you should expect from this video is that I will be showing you 5 tips that you would use to avoid your onion from burning when you are making your Agonyi sauce. And also, I've had to perfect this recipe just like how I had to perfect my akara recipe. If you have not seen that as well, I'll be leaving a link for you in the description section. It took me a while for me to get to this stage whereby I can tell myself, yes, you can make this sauce even when they wake you up from the bed. So I will show you what I do, and I will show you the mistakes that I made in the past and how you can avoid that mistake going forward and get this chili sauce, which is basically Ewa Agonyi sauce. Here are what we need: chili paste, sweet onion, salt, and a generous amount of oil. How to make the chili paste. First, we need to determine the type of chili pepper we want to use, as this impacts the final flavor and heat level. Over the years, I have settled on dried cayenne pepper, dried shombo pepper, Cameroon pepper, which is a dried form of Scotch bonnet pepper, in case you're wondering. When I'm out of stock, I use the one I get outside Nigeria. The beauty of these ones is that on the back package, it tells you the heat level, so you can decide quickly which heat level works for you. Once decided, rehydrate them for ease of blending and forming a pasty consistency. You can do this in 2 ways: soaking it overnight or in hot boiling water for at least 30 minutes with the bowl covered. Note: the longer you soak, the less flavorful and heat level, but more plump the pepper will be. Drain out the fluid and set aside. Take out the seed and placenta of the pepper. You can either use your hand or the knife as shown. I grew up with the sauce not looking all seedy, and that is what I'm aiming at. But it is more practical to be able to seed out the bigger sized pepper like the shombo than the cayenne or the Cameroon pepper. Taking out the seed and placenta also reduces the heat level of the sauce. Chop up a small onion to further tame down the heat and limit amount of water you use to move the blender blade when blending the chili pepper. Remember that soaking water. Add this little by little as needed. What we need is a thick paste to reduce the cooking time as much as possible. Stop every few minutes to scrape down the sides of the blender. If your blender has access points to add liquid as you blend like mine, then that is an advantage. This liquid is basically to allow the blade move well, but not to puree or dilute the pepper. The paste should be as smooth as you can get, yet still very thick, with the seeds too blended as much as possible. Put this paste into a bowl and set aside. Then use the soaking water to rinse out the leftovers as shown. Then proceed to freezing this, as this can be added to things like stews, beans porridge, you name it. Now, let's address the onion. Use a mandolin tool or hand to finely chop the onion as fine as you can get. Instead of thick or thin slices of onion, this gives me a better throwback look to my street-bought Agonyi sauce. So that is why I do this. You will need your onion to be uniform in size as possible. Once all our ingredients are prepped, we'll start the actual cooking. Labor of love. Caramelization of onion is first and very important as it builds aroma and flavor. Pour a generous amount of oil into a preheated pan and just heat this up, as bleaching will alter the nature of the oil and natural flavor that it has, and we need this oil to be as healthy as possible. Once you see the onion sizzles as shown, add in your onion. A non-uniform size onion chop will increase the risk of burning, as they will fry at different time. Let me tell you, a properly made Agonyi sauce is a labor of love. Cranking up your heat is another recipe for disaster. Please reduce your heat level. The next mistake we can make is not stirring your contents every few minutes. Stirring will help evenly distribute the heat and also prevent sticking together of the onion. I decided to show you a time lapse of doing this whole process So you see that it's truly a labor of love. This process does not only caramelize the onion, but build up a pleasing new aroma and flavor as the protein and sugar in the oil and onion interact with each other. A process called Maillard reaction. Let's see our progress so far. When you see that it is golden brown, please don't be tempted to call it a day yet. Just continue. But at this stage, keep stirring without stopping. Basically stirring constantly to keep an eye on it. Till we get to a dark brown color like this. We started from this to this, to this, and to this. Once almost all your onion is dark brown, please, not black, add in your chili paste and stir in properly. We want a gentle simmering as it fries. Again, your heat level should be low. In short, I don't go beyond level 1 on my stove. Also, at first, the orangey reddish color of the chili paste will peek through the dark brown onion. Like I said, this is also a labor of love. Another time lapse, people. Here is where we are at this stage. Please stir every few minutes, just like the onion stage. Still doing this at low heat level to prevent burning and to encourage that reaction we talked about, Maillard. One thing I do is to give it a test every time I go to stir it to ensure no burning taste is forming and to note how the flavor is building. Please note, my time lapse might not be the same as yours due to the varied stove, the amount of chili pepper you used, and the amount of water you used to blend the chili pepper. With time, the chili pepper color will start changing into the onion color. Do you see how the two color blends into one? Yes, that is it. At this stage, we are almost at the finished line. Add a small amount of salt to it, as this will bring out the taste further and get us to that gritty Agonyi sauce texture. Keep stirring very much frequently at this stage and testing it, because it can quickly end up in the burnt zone from here on. especially if you don't keep a close eyes on it. Let me tell you, when it gets to the greedy stage and nicely flavored stage, your touch, tongue, and past memory of Agonyi sauce will tell you. Once you've gotten to this stage, take off the stove. Agonyi sauce is a very oily sauce, but it serves some purposes. For instance, it helps preserve your sauce during storage, which I typically leave at room temperature, not refrigerated or anything, just on my countertop. It reduces the heat level of the chili pepper and helps evenly fry your chili pepper, thus reducing the risk of you burning the chili pepper fast. That said, you don't have to drink the oil during serving. I recommend using a slotted spoon and allow it to drain out the oil before adding to your sides of choice. Again, the oil is not to be thrown out, but I take out of it to make stew, beans porridge, yam porridge, etc., as it has its own flavor. So I hope you're going to find this video helpful, and if you do, remember to share this video, click the subscribe button if you're yet to do that, and there's a bell beside it that's for the notification for instant alert when I upload any new video. So until next time, when I see you all again, let's learn and cook together. Bye bye.